That young woman was 17 and she had been studying cooking, and she essentially was liking it so much that she had started getting the group of friends together to cook for her schools and for her community, and kind of organizing the beginning of a catering system. And I was struck because that's when I talked to that young woman, she's a stateless young woman, and so she was saying, one, my pathway to education is going to be very, very difficult. Two, she was saying, my parents are poor, they cannot afford to put me through higher secondary schooling. And so it has meant that I have worked physically since grade 2 every day of my life. Her life is an example to how inequities are still happening today in Thailand, and how even if you're really devoted and really working hard, the opportunities for you in life are not quite the same. My name is Thomas Davin. For the last 5 years, I was the UNICEF representative for Thailand. So Thailand is a land of contrast. Thailand is on a par with Western Europe in terms of the neonatal and under-5 mortality. It's extremely impressive. Similarly, Thailand has vanquished what we call the fight for access to education for primary. Thailand has 100% for years, and yet 5 years ago the issue of inequities of access to services and quality of services was quite wide. The situation and your potential in life as a child varied significantly if you were in the top quintile of the population or if you were in the lowest quintile of the population. That's really part of what UNICEF has been trying to focus on, these issues of inequities and how do we get every child a fair chance in life. In terms of the progress over the last 5 years, the one that really strikes me is the birth and the development of the Child Support Grant. Right? This is really a grant that is very simple. It's if you're a child and you live in a poor family, your life is going to be harder than many other children. And so there was a decision by the Thai authorities to give these families with young children access to a grant. That grant started with very limited focus. UNICEF helped the Royal Thai authorities evaluate the impact of this child support grant. We realized that for these families, these 400 baht, for them it was very, very, very important. Sometimes it was life-saving for the children. Sometimes it was the difference between the child eating well and not eating well. Now we are at a stage where any family of any child from 0 to 6 years old and making less than 100,000 baht per year has access to a grant of 600 baht per month. So fantastic success, reaching now 1.8 million children under 6. We're talking about making it universal, and I'm hoping that that will happen. We need these young people of tomorrow to be as successful as possible because Thailand is the fastest aging society in Southeast Asia. Thailand is aging as fast as Japan 25 years ago, except that when Japan started aging as quickly as Thailand does now, their income per capita was 5 times larger than Thailand's income per capita today. We've been really active on this education reform. There is a complete review of the curriculum in schools to acknowledge the fact that today Thailand is not doing great in terms of the PISA score. So there's been really, I think, a wake-up call over the last 5 years saying, okay, we need to readjust the curriculum. We need to focus on a curriculum that enables children to learn differently, to be a little bit more around analytical thinking, critical thinking, empowerment, teamwork, collaboration, all of those that we would call life skills, accompanied by life skills, that are going to be defining success factor for the young people of tomorrow. So there is an urgency to equip the young people today to be as good as they can be and to be as productive as they can be, because Thailand's economy will depend on their ability to be successful. Those are sovereign decisions ultimately. It's the Royal Thai government decisions. Part of UNICEF's role is to try to nudge and suggest and offer some thoughts about what may be helpful. In my mind, I think one of the key aspects of focus should be young people. And I'm hoping that there will be that recognition that for the Thai society to be the best it can be in the future, that starts with these young people. I think it means that for the Thai government, it means really putting that issue of young people as the first priority of their government, systematically and consistently over the next few years. It doesn't matter who's the minister, it doesn't matter who's the cabinet, it doesn't matter what political party is in charge. That is the future of the nation. That has to remain a priority for the next 10, 15 years.